Hello everyone, this is Mumbo here, welcome back, and today we're back on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 25 and we're currently over here down at the bottom of the gigantic mob spawner, ready to start recording another video. And I gotta say, right at the beginning of this video, I gotta get something off my chest, okay? And I know that you've been hearing this quite often from me, I've been mentioning it quite often, but I just want to say a massive thank you for the positive response that we got for the previous episode of Hermitcraft. Episode 24, called the Large Scale Item Storage System. That was the best received episode of Hermitcraft for a very long time indeed. It got tons of likes, it got tons of views, tons of comments, loads of people getting involved, and I just want to say a massive thank you basically, because I put quite a lot of effort into that episode. I really wanted to make sure that I got everything done in time, and yeah, I put quite a few hours in, but it really does pay off when you see the comments, you see everyone saying that they really enjoyed the video. It just makes all of that time worth it. And I know that makes it sound like I don't enjoy playing on Hermitcraft. That's entirely not the case, but of course when you spend a lot of time on a video and then you finally push it out, it's always a brilliant feeling when you see all of the comments coming back in saying how much they enjoyed it. So thank you for all the positive responses, it really was lovely, and hopefully this episode could be just as good. Now, as far as the plan is concerned, a lot of you have already guessed this down in the comment section. As soon as I mentioned that the mob spawner was going to have one block down the middle instead of two, a lot of you guessed it straight away. But essentially, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building the Y platform. Now, what this essentially is a really high up platform right the way up in the sky that we stand on when we want to get maximum efficiency inside our mob spawner. Because essentially what that will do is it will unload all of this area down here, it will unload all of the caves, meaning that we don't have to light them up because no mobs will be able to spawn down there. All of the mobs will be spawning up in our mob spawner. Now, this might work a little bit differently due to the amplified terrain, but I'm sure it will be absolutely fine. So that's what we're going to be working on today. But as far as getting up there is concerned, we are going to be using one of my new slime block elevators. It's a really cool design. If you haven't seen it, I would highly suggest checking it out. There will be links to that video down in the description, but I'm quickly going to pop into a redstone testing world and I'll give you a show round. I crashed into a bunny and I've lost my minecart. I never thought I'd say that sentence ever. Here we are way up in the sky, right above all of my redstone creations, but this one here is at the start of the show. This is the one that we are going to be building on Hermitcraft to get up to our top platform. Let's just drop right the way down to the bottom, and we should see there is a minecart down there. If you hop inside it, as you can see, we are bounced upwards relatively quickly. It's not the fastest elevator in the world by any means, but it's pretty good, and the main positive of using this design is the fact that it is symmetrical from the front. We have got one block down the middle and two blocks on either side, which is something that I really wanted for building in this little base area that we've got. I didn't want to have anything else, but anyway, here we are, we've reached the top, we hop outside the minecart, and the minecart drops down to the bottom. Now, as far as the redstone is concerned, I know I've gone into redstone video mode. It's really quite good. It's a very compact design, and it's not particularly resource heavy, but most importantly, it's actually a very easy to remember repeating pattern, so it shouldn't be too difficult to build, but it is going to use one heck of a lot of resources, so I'm going to have to start gathering those ones up. I've been hard at work, busying myself over at the crafting table, trying to gather up all the resources required to do this build. Now, this is just a rough estimate. I have no idea how much this is actually going to use. Chances are I have overestimated absolutely massively. That's always the way these things go. But for me, this seems around about right. So I've got a few stacks of redstone blocks, got a few stacks of repeaters, a few stacks of redstone torches. I've got one full stack of slime blocks, a few sea lanterns that I'm going to put in between each one of the launchers to light it all up. Then I have a few stacks of regular pistons that are soon going to be turned into sticky pistons because they're what's required. Got a little bit more redstone, a little bit of wood, a bunch of iron blocks because of course that's what we're going to be building out of, as well as a bunch of stone because we're going to be having some half slabs thrown in there for good measure, because that is going to be the theme of that entire area that we have going on. So I guess it's around about time that we head over there and I actually start placing some blocks. Alright, I have made a little bit of progress update. It's only something absolutely tiny, it took a couple of minutes, but as you can see, we've got a platform walkway area that is going to be taking us over to the elevator itself. And the reason I'm showing you this is quite simply because I want you to have a rough idea of what's going to be happening and how we are going to be laying all of this out. So the elevator itself is going to be going up the back of the mob spawner, and that might surprise a few of you because I'm sure some of you thought that I was going to be building this up the front, but the reason that I'm not doing that is because from this angle here, most of our view will be the ugly backside of all of the redstone, and that's not particularly nice. I don't want to be seeing that from my base. I don't think that's something that I really want to see, so instead I thought I would put the elevator out the back because that will be nice and hidden away. You won't be able to see much of the redstone, and it will work absolutely just fine. Now, of course, this elevator is going to be pretty tall. We're on around about y equals 70 right now, and we have to get to y equals 200. That is 130 blocks travelled by elevator. This is going to be a very repetitive process indeed, but I'm sure once it's done, it is going to be absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to get started, and I'll give you a progress update in a couple of seconds. So I'm a few layers up the elevator already, and straight away, I am regretting using half slabs to do all of the redstone. It's very laborious placing down all the half slabs because, of course, it takes twice as long to place all of the blocks. But anyway, let's head down to the bottom and we'll take a look at what I've done. So you can see all of the slime blocks. You can see that I've got these sea lanterns in between each module, which I actually think looks really quite good. Let's head outside and see how it looks. Yeah, that looks good. How cool does that look? I didn't actually expect it to fit in with the rest of the build so nicely, but I really like the continuation of this traveling upwards. I hadn't even thought of that when I was building it. I just thought, oh, I need some way to light this up, so I chucked these down, but I never even imagined that it actually would fit in quite so nicely. So that's been a very, very pleasant surprise indeed for me. I don't know how good it's going to look stretched outwards many hundreds of blocks. It might get a little bit repetitive and a little bit boring looking. Let's look straight upwards here and make sure that we are going to clear the edge of the mob spawner, because that will be a horrible realization to make as we approach it, because that really would ruin this entire project. But what I think we should do now is we should actually take a look at this from outside. So let's just chuck down a half slab here, repair our little banister, and jump off the edge. And let's see how it looks from back here. You know what? As much as I don't like placing down all of the half slabs, it definitely works well, okay? It looks nice, it's alright, it's a perfectly good block for placing redstone on top of. So I'm going to continue doing that, I'm going to continue building this one, and then we'll see how far I can get. I've just had an absolutely horrendous thought. I haven't actually tested out this design on a server yet. I have no idea if this is going to work on Hermitcraft, because Hermitcraft can occasionally have its very laggy moments. As you guys know, I have had some serious troubles with building slime block elevators, so I'm a little bit nervous right now. I seriously am very, very nervous indeed. As you can see, I've built a few extra layers, nothing too spectacular, but I thought I would test this sooner rather than later. I can't think of anything worse than completing this entire thing, then finding out it doesn't actually work. So, here we go. Here comes a moment of truth. Hop inside the minecart, hit the button. We've gone up. We've gone up again! We've gone up again! It looks like it's working. We are taking a little bit of damage, which is a little bit strange. And we might take damage here. Not 100% certain. Okay, good. Right. Oh, that is a relief. We have dismounted in a very odd location indeed, but I can deal with that, because by the look of things, the slime block elevator is working. Hallelujah! I've just realised something. Throughout this entire video, I've been saying that this build is relatively repetitive, and I'm going to be doing the same pattern over and over again. And what that means is, my progress updates are going to be relatively repetitive, and I'm going to be saying the same thing over and over again. So what I thought I'd do instead is I thought we would do a third-person time-lapse. Now, I will warn you, this might make the video just a tiny bit shorter because, of course, the time-lapse takes a lot less time than doing multiple progress updates, but I feel like the video footage will be much more interesting. You guys will have more fun on the video, you'll enjoy it a little bit better, and it's always nicer to be short and sweet than long and boring. So, let's commence this third-person time-lapse. So here we are on top of an extremely tall elevator. Look at this place. It is absolutely humongous. Let me bring up my F3 menu. As you can see, we are at Y equals 238. That means that this elevator has traveled upwards 170 blocks or thereabouts. That's insane. That is by far the tallest elevator I have ever built or ever seen built in survival Minecraft. Now, I have to admit, I'm fairly proud of myself for managing to finish this one. It used up a lot of resources and quite a lot of time, and one thing that you may have noticed in the time-lapse bit is the fact that there was a bit of a jump. Okay, we were building something, and then suddenly I had built a huge quantity of it, and that is because, quite simply, I ran out of hard drive disk space on my recording drive, which hasn't happened for a very long time indeed, but I guess I was spending such a long time recording the time-lapse, must have ran out of memory on that one, so I do apologise for that. It's a bit of a shame. You've lost a little bit of footage there, but I'm sure it won't bother too many of you. But anyway, now we have to get down. Sadly, we can't go down the elevator shaft because there is some building blocks in there. So I guess there's only one thing for it. Now, I'm going to have to watch out for any rogue lily pads because I don't want to hit any of them. But let's pop off the edge. Oh, my life. That is very high. Flying down to the bottom. And there we go. We're absolutely fine because Minecraft physics are oh so realistic. But there we go. We have made it down to the bottom of our gigantic elevator. How about we take a look at how this looks from down beneath? I'm sure it looks absolutely insane. Let's pop up the mini elevator. This is the medieval elevator. And let's take a look at the new one, the modern one. Yep, it's definitely tall. It goes right out of view distance. It's in the fog. It is in the void fog, the render distance fog, whatever you want to call that thingy. Jeez, it's tall. Now it is time to give this thing a test. Now don't worry, I'm probably not going to take you for the entire journey because that is going to take a very long time indeed. Let's hop inside our minecart and I guess we will keep travelling upwards. Now here we go. This is the start of the journey. I took a little bit of damage there, which is a tad bit concerning. That's arguably more concerning. Oh no. I really hope that's a mistake with the timings and it's not just a redstone lag problem. Oh, I've gone from excitement to sadness in about half a millisecond there. I'm not feeling so good right now. I just popped onto my camera account, which was still logged onto the server, just to quickly give the redstone a once-over to make sure everything was correct. And I can tell you now, I have never been so happy to see an incorrect repeater. Look at that. That is the culprit. All of these ones are meant to be set to 2 ticks. That one there was set to 4 ticks, which meant that there was a little bit of delay, and we actually get launched out the side. Whoa! I was so scared then, I don't know if you could tell. Has been fixed. Let's give this another go. We're approaching the top. This is the best feeling ever. We might actually make this. Here we go. And we are there. We did it. We've made it to the top. An elevator that I have built on a Minecraft server actually works. It works for 170 blocks in height. I am so happy right now. I don't know what to do. I do not know what to do. I am so pleased that this has all functioned correctly. The project has actually worked. There was only one little mistake. We didn't die. It's all good. Now we can hop down the middle. This is when I die straight away. Let's hop down the middle, holding that spacebar so that we don't bounce back upwards. Wow, that is fast. And we hit the bottom. Absolutely fine because we land on the slime block. So there we go. That is that project done, but we are not done yet with today's episode. There's still a few bits and pieces left to do. There is some added functionality that I want to add to our gigantic elevator that we have here. But of course, it's fairly pointless to build all of this and not actually have a platform at the top. So I've got to construct that, and I'll catch you guys in a bit. So here we are in the new platform way up here in the sky. This is where we are going to be standing to AFK at the mob farm. It's nothing particularly special, but that's because it doesn't need to be anything particularly special. It's using the same designs that I've been doing for the entire build now. So yeah, it all looks pretty similar, but as you can see, we have got a few of these sea lanterns here. We've got a little bit of the glass going around the outside with the half slabs on top. And then in the middle, we have this block of glass. Now, I thought this would be cool because not only have we done that downstairs, and I think it looks really good, but also we can look down and see how high up we are. I mean, this is really very impressive how tall we are. We are able to see the entire elevator, which is really very nice indeed. I mean, this is an obscenely tall structure. I don't think I've ever built anything quite this tall in Minecraft. In fact, you know what? I remember the days when the height limit was 120 something. Was it 120 something? 126? Because I know they increased it or doubled it to allow us to do things like this, and I'm very, very glad they did, because if they hadn't, then we wouldn't be standing up here at y equals 238. But anyway, I guess it is now time to pop down to the bottom. We have got a few things to sort out with our little storage area, and then we are going to do some AFKing. Just from standing up there for a couple of seconds though, as you can see here, we have already got a bunch of item drops. I have a feeling this is going to be a very, very good farm indeed if we already have that much stuff from being up there for about a minute. Awesome. So this is my first time in the end on the server. We're having to pick up some ender pearls so that I can make some ender chests, and I'm sure some of you understand why I need to do that. But for those of you who don't, I will cover that in a couple of seconds. But we are currently on our way over to the Ender. I believe this was built by Slipgator and Tango Tech, although I'm not 100% certain, so don't hold me on that. But of course you have to build these things slightly off the edge of the end, so I think we're on our way here. I'm not 100% sure, like I said, I haven't been here yet, and I haven't actually seen the design so far. But let's pop outside the minecart, and we should see lots and lots. Oh wow, okay, so this is a different design for an ender. I haven't actually seen this one before, but that is manic. Look how many oh my life, there's so many ender pearls here. I mean, we can just punch these guys. This is much easier than the old design. I don't know how efficient it is, but it looks a lot simpler. I could just stand here all day, swinging back and forth, not even using much hunger, and we're of course getting loads and loads of XP. So this is a pretty cool alternative to, of course, the donut. But let's head over and take a look at the ender. Yeah, see, that's where the ender pearls are going. They're currently going down into that area there. I don't know if they're meant to be going anywhere else. I'll have to take a look around. I've just crafted up a pair of ender chests, but sadly we aren't going to be using them for the conventional use of just gathering up items, storing them in there and being able to access them wherever. Instead, we are actually going to be using them inside our water streams, and that is because all of you guys told me that the use of chests wasn't particularly reliable, and that is because their hitbox can change depending on what you're looking at. Now that might sound a little bit strange, but I'm fairly familiar with this game mechanic because I used to mess around with wireless redstone back in the day, and that was how you used to do it. So what we are going to do is we are going to take out this chest right here and replace it with an ender chest, and we're going to have to do the same thing on the other side. But one thing that I have just thought is I'm going to place a block there just in case for some reason an item manages to travel out like that. But let's do the same thing on the other side. So I'll head back over to my ugly pillar, we'll take that thing out, and then we'll place the ender chest in on the other side as well, just to fix that up, make sure that no items are going to be lost in this system, because there's no point in building this hyper efficient mob farm with all this various stuff and then have it mess up right at the last minute. So let's take this one out here and place in an ender chest, and there we go. That is our system complete. Now my original plan for the end of this episode was to do a little bit of AFKing, then give you the results once all of that had finished, but sadly I am all out of time for today's episode. I don't even have enough time to do the AFKing, then do the update later, so I'm going to have to AFK at some other point in between this episode and the next, and then give you the results at the beginning of the next episode. At least that's the plan. I can't promise anything, but that is the plan at the minute. So there we go. That is that episode all done and dusted. I hope that you've enjoyed it. We built a gigantic elevator that reaches right the way up to the heavens, which was an exciting project. It was one that I'm very happy that I did, and I'm very, very pleased that I've managed to get an elevator working in survival multiplayer. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.